Just got a spam call, so I cut it off. What I'm trying to tell you is, think about what I'm telling you. When we see Jesus, we'll be like him. That means the person that you are now is not real yet. There's glimpses of it. You're almost there. The old flesh mind, there's like little program. You're running on a program. Until we see Jesus, we're not who we really are. I don't know if somebody's waking up or if I'm blowing their mind or they're losing it. So that tree is grown right there, right? It's a seed in the ground first. Is that seed the tree? Yes, but it's not the complete tree. Was the seed real? In a way. So when I come back next week or 2 weeks and the seed has changed and it's got a, where's the seed? I mean, where'd the seed go? You believe that seed was a seed, but it was actually a tree. But you believed it was a seed. If a person's saved, they're growing to like Jesus. If a person's not saved, they're going like the devil. That person's already the devil. Everybody's born in sin. Everybody's the devil. So as you're approaching the Christ, you're seated in the heavenlies in Christ. You're already there. But all these programs that these people are working in and all these projections you're projecting on somebody. And here's another verse that just came to mind. God looks at the heart. Everybody says, well, David was an adulterer, David was a murderer, David was evil. But God looked on the heart. Yeah, he had to suffer, he had to pay, he had some consequences. He was a bloody man. There was some pain involved in that. His own child had to die. There had to be a reciprocation there. You reap what you sow. There has to be, it's all a copy machine. What you put out comes back, right? Come back a month later, there's a piece, there's something sticking out of the ground. Where'd the seed go? That was never a seed. It was a tree. So the projection that you projected that was just a seed was a lie. It was a temporary, it was, okay, maybe it is a seed right now. But next week it's not a seed. The next month is it's not just a branch, a little stalk. Next week is not just one, it's not just one piece coming up. It's got many branches. Then there's leaves and then what I'm trying to tell you is that person that you knew as a seed, your projection, unless you're like tied to this, talking to this person 24/7 and you think alike, talk alike, believe alike, and you know, when you really start to see the code that's in Plainview, you see source. Everything is cut, turn, union, and flow down here. And so everybody's really the same, but they're not even real yet until you see Jesus. When we see Jesus, we'll be like him. That includes the men and the women. There's no marriage or giving in marriage in heaven. It's all spiritual. Now, do you want to have fellowship with somebody down here? Do you want to have somebody, companionship? Companion means C-O-M-P-A-N-I-O-N. Together, eat bread, walk. Ion, pan is bread. C-O-M is together. What is a companion? You eat bread together. You walk together. But that person that you're walking together with, let's say there's a man and woman. The man, they're just tight. If they don't stay tight, they grow apart. And when they grow apart enough, one gets spiritual, gets saved, one goes to the devil, the dark side, they end up fighting. There's usually fighting and drinking and drugging and murder and cheating and lying and fake reality and misery and depression and Xanaxes, and the kids result from it. I mean, I'm telling you the whole game. I'm telling you the whole game. And even if you are tied to the hip like two oxen, you can't, okay, let's say there's two ox tied. This one here is saying, you're thinking, you're getting on my list, you're getting on my nerves. And this ox here is saying, oh, you're the greatest thing ever. I love you. I just love you. And this one over here is, so two ox are tied together. One of them saying, you're getting on my everlasting nerve, companion. And this one here is saying, oh, I just love you to death. I'll just do anything for you. I'll die for you. And you don't know that person's having that thought because it's all spiritual. Hopefully, they both say, hey, I'm willing to sacrifice for you, take care of you, help you, understand you, put up with you, all that stuff. Hopefully, they think like that. But they don't. Until you get the mind of Christ, until Christ be formed in you. Then you understand it's a sacrificial, redemptive reality, and everybody's moving towards the Christ, because when we see him, we'll be like him. But right now, we're all on that path. So that projection that you want, that the reason you're frustrated with that person, because they're not there yet, or they're not where you want them to be. You're projecting a false reality. That person, that family member, that friend, if they don't have the Spirit of Christ, they'll never grow. And then some people are, you got the unsaved, you got the saved, and you got the unsaved, the spiritual, and the carnal. So if somebody's a carnal Christian, they'll never grow. So let's say you're unsaved, you get saved. You become a spiritual Christian. You meet this woman who's, she got saved, but she's still carnal. You're spiritual, she's carnal. She's still in the world. Even though she's saved, she's still tied to the world. You think y'all going to be just like this? No. How many years you think that it will go before trouble hits? Before fighting and screaming and yelling? You never help me wash dishes. You never listen to me. How many years you think it'll last before it just completely just falls apart? Even if you got one carnal believer and one spiritual, one who's still tied to the world and one who's sold out, how many years will that last? You got an unsaved and a saved, right? If you got a spirit-filled and an unsaved, that person if that person don't get saved, they'll be out there cheating, drugging, drinking, trying to kill you probably. Poisoning you, trying to take you out, because they're going to hate your worldview. They hate you. If they're children of the devil and you're a child of God, these people hate you. They might be married to you, but they're trying to poison you or kill you or defame you or laugh at you or mock you because they are children of the devil. If it's a carnal believer and you're a spiritual believer, how can two walk together except they be in agreement? And if they're not walking together, what's going to happen? They're going to suffer loss. And because you're yoked up with them, you're going to suffer loss. There's not going to be any peace in the home. Your projection of a person down here until we see Jesus is a fake reality. And the only way two people can really be in unity is be in the Word, be in communication, which is communion, and be real and quit lying to each other. And you don't get offended. And you say, honey, why are you mad at me? If she tells you the truth, you don't get mad. You don't get offended. You listen and you communicate. Okay, well, is it because of my old nature that I do this? Is it because your old nature you're thinking that? Because you know it's a program. And the only way two people are going to stay together and be in peace is realize the flesh mind is the program. The spirit mind is the mind of Christ. And so whoever's in the flesh mind at that moment, they got to humble themselves and get rid of the pride and admit they need to change. It'll never work. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. You're not going to be the same person you were next year. If you stay stagnant, you're still not the same person because you're going down. There's no such thing as stagnation. You're either going down or going up. If you got the Holy Spirit, He's going to push you higher. So my point is, when I say they're not real, yeah, they're a human. It might be a seed in the ground, but it's not the real. The real is when you see Jesus, you'll be like him. So all these projections, this radio, this TV, this internet, this building, this car, is going to burn up. It's not even real. It's a tool. Why worship a piece of metal or a piece of plastic or a 2x4 or sheetrock? Look at your kids. You have kids, right? And they go through the years and they grow up. And some of them, you know, you love your kids, but then they start doing stupid stuff. And then as they get older, let's say you're saved, they never get saved. You're just two opposites. Do you feel guilty about that? You shouldn't. I mean, if they reject Christ, you showed them the truth. It's on them. Your children are you're supposed to have children, what, 18 years and kick them out of the nest. You don't, see, most people, here's the deal with most people, with kids. It's a codependency enabling thing. Because they're not communicating with their spouse in oneness, in truth, they get that child and it's like they're married to the child instead of the spouse. And I'm not talking about physically, but they're emotionally using the child in place of the spouse. That's why cheating happens, because they're disconnected from this, and they're one with this cheating situation because they might have the same beliefs. But if even they're not in communion constantly here, they're not in communication constantly here because it's outside the parameters of what it's supposed to be. So this person here is totally messed up in their emotions, their thinking, their everything about them. So they're going to run to where are they going to go? They're going to go to they're not getting along with their spouse. They're not getting along with the one they're cheating with or having an emotional affair with. So where are they going to go? They're going to go to their children to get that. Instead of going to Jesus, going to God and getting right with their spouse, or divorcing this one and doing what they really, I mean, if you've already done it, it's done. I'm not saying sure you should be able to fix this, but it don't always happen. That's, I mean, there's 60% divorce rate. I mean, there's preachers cheating with the piano player. Why does that happen? I mean, don't get upset about it. Don't get upset. Don't be mad. Don't be discouraged. It's real. It's happening all the time. Don't even let it bother you. Yes, Jerry Springer, because it's the flesh mind. And what I'm trying to tell you is that wouldn't happen that's not going to happen in heaven. That wouldn't happen if when you see Jesus, you'll be like him. If you're like Jesus, it ain't going to happen. And like I said, even Jesus said, if you thought about it, you're guilty of it. So the forgiveness, the spiritual oneness, and all that has to be there. As you get older, that part don't matter. It's really the unity in the faith is what matters, you know. That part's just ridiculous. It's the unity in the truth. And the truth is right in front of you. So you're projecting a fake reality onto people because you don't really know them. You think you do, and sometimes, you know, people you work with or people that talk to you, they try to project a reality on you. It's not even you, and you just say, okay, you know, if they want to believe that, go ahead, because you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to hurt them because you care about them. I mean, they're human. You don't want to hurt people. At least you shouldn't. If you're normal, unless you're a psychopath. Unless you're a reptilian psychopath, you don't want to hurt people. You wouldn't want to hurt anybody, right? I would hope so. So but you don't really want to live in lies. So when they start projecting and you say, let's say you're married, and you say, well, listen, I know you think that about me, but that's not who I am. Why are you still harping on that? You're still projecting some reality that's not even me. Because of their insecurities, because of their past, because of people have gaslight them, they've gaslight themselves, because the news, the media, the TV, they've got a worldview that's based on rock music, rap music, country music. Your country music worldview is totally insane. The rap music killing people, that's insane. The rock and roll music is insane, even though that's what I like. If I was to listen to music again, I cut off music, I cut off TV, I cut it all off. I'll watch, scroll. I'm done. I'm almost done with any YouTube, Instagram. I've never downloaded TikTok. I don't even know what that's about, but it's got to be the same because it all meshes the same. Long story short, your projection of this reality, your projection of that building, in a month, there's going to be new employees. If I go away for a year and come back, the same people that were there are probably gone. There might be some long-term ones that are there for a long time, but most of them have gone and moved on. Some of them have died. On their death, think about people on their deathbed and they confess something and you're like shocked. I never knew that. You don't know them. It's fake reality. They let you believe what you wanted to believe about them to keep the peace. This will mess with your mind if you take it to the nth degree. So if you want to believe that tree's real or that person's real or they're not running on a program and you love them and you know them, go ahead. I can't make you see what I'm telling you. And we're supposed to love everybody, but we're talking about we really choose agape love because when you look at somebody, here's the answer to that. When you look at somebody, let's say you do, okay, I love you. Don't look at what you, if you can see God's calling in their life, look at where they're going to be. If they do something stupid and you really want to show love to that person, love is a choice, by the way. If you want to show love, look at where they're going or where they're going to be. There's your solution.